Well, I was just going to say, so initially I heard the word priorities. Then I think I heard the word plan, but then, and I was going to ask if the plan was maybe just a substitute for the word budget. You just said budget now 4 or 5 times. And so what is different? I assume it sounds like, and I don't want to take, I'm not changing your story, but what I heard was you had a budget before, or you were budgeting some way. And then you met Christine. You started kind of looking at the budget a new way. What was the difference? Why did previous budgets not necessarily work for you? And I think you've started to answer that already. But I just want people listening are going to hear that and they're going to say, "Well, my budget's not working." So what is it? What is it that was different about the way that you were engaging with the budget or working through the budget that started to work?
Definitely going cash only had a huge impact on me because then you go to spend and it's not in the envelope. There's not a whole lot you can do there. But also, I had a lot of, I didn't know where my money was going. Like when, you have to be accountable for every dollar you're spending. And I would write things out, with the budget and plan. And then I got real. And it took me a while to get real. Like Christine will tell you, it probably took me a good 6 to 8 months to really look at my spending and be like, I'm writing it down and I was following my budget, but my paycheck might have been an extra $50 because I worked a little OT or did something. I couldn't tell you where that $50 was going. And that adds up. That adds up to be a lot of money. And I realized that, I've got it locked down a little bit. And I'm a teacher and I'm luckily enough where every year where I am, I do get a little bit of a raise. And I didn't want to have that creep that sets in where more money. And now I'm buying, we'll say I love estate sales and I'm buying more stuff at estate sales when I could be using that money to pay off that debt a little bit sooner or to save up for another vacation. And so it made me get real with the spending. And I love the envelopes and I love, using only cash because it really makes me think about what I'm doing.
So to anybody that thinks I don't make enough money to budget or there's no way I could ever make it work. Yeah, exactly. That's the reaction I wanted. Absolutely they can make it work, right?
Everybody, and I don't care how much money you are. Like I'm very blessed where I have a good salary. I never
Mhm.
complain about how much money I make. But even my friends and educators, Christine, her and I talk about it all the time. There's like this idea that teachers were perfect with our money and we're teachers, so we're smart and everybody. Yeah, we're some of the worst people with our money. We really are. And, I really got to look at that. And now, my plan, my budget is we'll say 1 month to 3 month kind of lookout. My plan is like through the whole year.
Or
Nice.
even 2 years.
Oh, yeah, Zach.
Yeah.
I'm planning now, like I'm looking at retirement in 6 years. And, I
Wow.
want to be debt free for retirement, as debt free as I can
Yep.
be. Like, I know I might have some college loans to help my kids. I'm ready for that. But the house I want done, the big stuff I want gone. And that will happen. Like, I have a plan, and there's no more, well, if it happened. No, there's no iffies. It's a when. It will. It may be delayed if something happens, things happen, but it will happen.
So I'm hearing too, Dave has been quoted. I think he says that, budgeting and financial freedom is 10% math and 90% emotion or 90% conviction, right?
Mhm.
And I'm hearing you, and I'm probably not getting those numbers right, but I'm hearing you kind of confirm that.
Oh, yeah.
You're saying it's not if, it's when. That's more than just we put it down on paper. That's you and Christine working together and
Mhm.
developing real belief, real passion,
Oh, yeah.
real conviction, right? That
Absolutely.
this is no longer optional for me. I'm just
Nope.
going to work the plan. I know that the math works. The math was easy. Now I have to live out, this lifelong effort, right? These
Mhm.
goals, and I love that you said too, like we're not perfect, right? So the plan looks great on paper, and it's a nice straight line, but in reality, things are going to go up, they're going to go down, they're going to go sideways, they're going to go backwards, they're going to get flipped upside down, and you just have to adapt to those things,
Mhm.
right? But if you have a plan, you can keep moving forward.
Absolutely. And the plan, Christine will tell you this fall in September, went to back out of my garage and my garage door never went up. And
Did you make it out of the garage?
I did not. And obviously I had to get that fixed. Well, old Christine, this would have been a complete and total, stress-filled meltdown because I'd have to whip out a credit card and
Mm-hmm.
everything else. I had it in my emergency fund.
There you
You
go.
know, I'm not going
This
to
is
lie.
why
It
we
did hurt
have
to
them.
use it. Christine laughs at me because I'm like, it's so pretty in the fund. I don't want to take it out of the fund. But it did its job. It was an
Will,
emergency.
will
And
you
now I,
It's a
also
tool.
will you also share what your son said to you that morning that you backed into the garage door?
um, I
And
was,
if you don't want to,
no, no,
you do
that's
not have
fine.
to share it.
If I
Sure.
remember it correctly, you may have to. But, you know, after calming me down, because he is the voice of reason, he was like, you know, you got the money. Why are you worried?
Oh, there we go.
Because
Kids
I
are in
share
on
with
it.
my kids
He's
the
bought in.
program and everything, and they know, you know, because my plan, they're a part of my plan. So I share all of that with them. And he's like, why are you freaking out? You know, you've got the emergency fund. It'll be fine.
I've said on the show, Christine, how many times have I said that, you know, bring the whole family into this conversation? I've shared that, you know, I have an 8-year-old son and, you know, he's part of this conversation. He knows, he doesn't understand, obviously, and really fully appreciate, but I mean, he knows every single bill we pay. He knows the cost of every single thing that we buy. And it's not something that creates anxiety or guilt or any of that, right? It's not like I paid for it, you have to use it kind of thing. He just understands, you know, if we want something, we have to budget. First, we have to plan, put it in the plan, make a budget for it once we've saved. And our rule in our house is kind of aggressive. We save twice what we need to make a purchase. So if we need $100 to buy something, we save $200. That way, after we buy it, we still have $100 left over, right? And our bank account is just never empty. And it's a little extreme, but, you know, I mean, it really does work. And if you can apply those kind of rules, then even if you don't hit the goal of double, you're better off than you were if you didn't try.